So I'm just going to go through a little sequence. Like I'm not going to actually stretch for like 30 seconds, but I'm going to go through a few different exercises and I'll explain how to do the exercises. And then after I finish the whole sequence, you can ask me questions on it, but I can't hear you during the stretch because I'm not going to have my headphones in. So just bear with
Yeah.
me on that. So let's get started. So the pillow is here for when I elevate my knee. But number one is going to be a floor sequence. So you're here sitting on the floor. Here's going to be a good goal for you, man. I take my feet and I bring it as close as I can to my butt. And I hold my feet together and I pull my knees down, opening up my hips here. Your goal should be to touch your knees to the floor like I'm doing here, if you see. I see a lot of people, their like feet are really forward. You can barely get your knees down. That usually indicates that you're very tight in this area. So again, you're pulling your feet to your butt, holding your feet, pulling your knees out. You can hold this for about 30 seconds. Right from here, you can transition to a single leg. So in this case, I'll bring this leg out like so. I'll try to keep my hips squared, belly tight. I push my butt back, right? Because I don't want to just round my back and roll my shoulders forward. I push my butt back to get a stretch in my hamstring, and I go to grab my foot. This is going to be important, especially for jujitsu. You probably have seen guys do stuff like this, where they like go inverted, and they do
Yeah.
these type of movements. As well as if you're loose in your hips and hamstrings, you usually are a little bit like lighter. Like you'll be able to move with a little bit more freedom. So you have your hamstring stretched. Your goal should be able to push your hip back, keep your back straight, and be able to touch your feet without rolling your back. You can do about 30 seconds on each side. Then you can do 2 feet together, like so. Same idea. Push the butt back, go to touch your feet, try to keep your back straight. Those are good floor stretches to do to open up your hips and your hamstrings. Next up, we're going to open up our hip abductors and our glutes and our TFL by the hip flexor and the psoas here on the side. By sitting back, I'm going to put my foot and my ankle onto my knee. And I'm going to take my two hands and put it behind my thigh. So my one arm is through the two legs. This other arm is around the other leg. If you can, if you want, if you're home now, you can actually try some of the stretches while I walk you through it so you can see it. But I take my ankle, put it up, and I pull my knee towards my head by bicep curling my arm. I don't want to shrug my shoulders. I pull the knee towards my chest in a bicep curl motion. I can do that on both sides. So you put your ankle, yep, exactly like that. So now put your right arm through both legs and grab your left thigh in this case. Now lean your head, no, right hand like through, yeah. Through the two legs. So if you see,
The right hand goes
here,
behind.
right hand through the two legs, and I grab my thigh behind me. So here, through, grab the thigh.
Like that.
Right hand comes through the legs, grabs the left thigh. So you're, yeah, exactly. Two hands on the one thigh. Lean your head back and pull the knee towards your head. Probably feel pretty tight there. So now look in between your two legs. Look in between your two legs. Sorry, what you say?
It's the, so my hand goes, it threads through that little hole.
Yep. And then you grab your left thigh. Yeah, exactly like that. Now use like a bicep curl motion to pull the leg towards your head, but don't bring your head up. Keep your head flat. Yeah, and pull the knee up. Yeah, you feel that, right?
Oh, it kind of hurts. Yeah.
You probably feel tight there. So you, of course, don't hurt yourself. Don't pull so hard, but relax in that position. Breathe. Let that open up. You're gonna feel that tension. You're gonna feel tight. You want to breathe through it. You breathe through your nose. You try to keep your head back. You're not tilting your cervical spine. You're relaxing into the stretch. Good. Try the other side just to see. Left ankle goes onto your right thigh. Yep. Pull your leg through, head back. And look, just like in jiu-jitsu, right? Breathing through your nose. This isn't like being tense, right? Weightlifting, you can get a little exertion going. But this, you're breathing, you're letting your hips open. You can even flare that left knee out, and now that will deepen the stretch as well. Yeah, flare that left knee out, and you'll really feel that stretch going. You'll really feel that stretch. Good. So now, as you go through this sequence, the next one to do is now going to be on your knee. So watch the next one. If I have some sort of mat, or in this case, I have a pillow because I have a hard floor. You can use anything that is comfortable for your knee, because you don't, if you have your knees on a solid surface, it's probably going to be uncomfortable. So I take my left knee in this case and I put it onto the pillow to support myself. Now I'm going to go into this lunge position. Now take a note at my spine. I want to keep my spine straight. My belly is kind of tight here. Like I'm just breathing into my stomach. And what I want to do is, if you look at this knee, I drive my knee forward. And that is, you're probably going to see how this opens up this area here. I flare this knee out, right? Because just like a squat, right? We don't want to buckle that knee in. Knee comes out. I drive my hip forward here. I don't want to do this where I'm like leaning back too much. And I don't want to do this where I'm leaning forward too much. Just kind of like over my hip. So I push forward, driving with my leg. I'm going to feel a real deep stretch right here in my psoas. And I can even lift my hands up. And I'm going to get a bonus and stretch my lats as well. So I drive through, looking up, breathing, relaxing, opening up, driving more and more forward. Let's try that out. And then you do it on both sides, of course. You're here, right? Lunge forward, hands up, groin, nice groin stretch there. You should feel that psoas. I'm putting my headphones on so I can hear you. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
Good. Breathe. Don't be too tense with it. Breathe. Let your hands reach up. You're stretching your hands up. You're extending your arms up to the sky. Nice deep stretch there. Flaring that left knee out in this case. Driving your hip forward. Good. Looking good. Try the other side just to feel. This right here is the most important stretch. This is the most important stretch because that psoas, if that gets tight, if it messes up everything. It goes to your spine. Your psoas muscle connects from your lower abdomen down into your groin and then into your lower back. So if that muscle gets tight, everything gets fucked up. Reaching up, right? Let's not lean forward too much. Driving the hip forward. Good. You feel that stretch on the left side?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Well, right, but yeah.
Yeah, you feel that. You feel it like right in that groin area and like a little bit on the thigh.
I do feel it there.
Yeah, good. Let's continue. There's going to be two more. Well, actually, three more because there's going to be a couple for the. I'm going to show you a couple for the back and shoulders as well. So same position, but what you do, you can use a wall to help balance you. But now I just prop my foot up. I can grab my ankle and pull this up. Now I'm pretty flexible, so I can bring my heel to my ass. That's the goal. If at first you can only elevate it a little bit, that's totally fine. If you want to elevate it on a surface, you can also do that as well. But I think pulling here is good. Now I can use this wall to balance myself and I drive forward. So now it's going to be a little bit less in the psoas and you're going to really feel that quad open up. Now these two stretches here are very important because this is what gets tight when you're sitting down for long periods of time, or when you're standing for long periods of time, or when you're stressed out from working out. Like those muscles are going to get really, really tight. So you're in that lunge. Use something to prop yourself up as you go to grab with the same side foot. You're going to pull your foot up as you drive forward.
Oh yeah, I feel
Probably. You feel that quad?
Oh yeah, I feel it.
So now breathe through your nose, look straight ahead, opening up the chest a little bit, driving the hip forward. Breathe, 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 switch. Try the other side. So same idea. Yep, do the other way. Yeah, you have to do the same side. So flip around. Or you can do that too. That works. Yeah. And then you should feel that quad Feel the hip flexor too, but the quad. Breathe, look straight ahead, drive the hip forward, opening up the chest. Breathe, drive that forward, get a nice deep stretch. Not too much where it hurts, but deep stretch. Okay, good. Let's do a few others. So those two are like the money ones. Next up, this is the last one of the sequence, is going to be a frog stretch. Oh, I need another pillow. So you can see I put my two knees out. I'm going to go onto my forearms. I'm a little bit low here, but I'm on my forearms, kind of like an elbow plank. From here, I keep my belly tight so my back isn't like overly extended. I'm going to open up my knees and sit my hips back, right? I can even be up against the wall for this. My belly's tight and I sit my hips back and I literally am actively pulling my knees out. This is like another one that is super crucial to good hip health here. I'm getting a nice deep stretch here. So try that out. You're gonna feel that right away. You're pulling the knees out wide as you sit back. You should feel like a deep stretch in the hips. Just nod your head if you feel it.
Yeah.
Nod your head if you feel it. Yeah. Good. So breathe into it, feel it. Open up those knees. Get a really deep stretch there. And good. So that whole sequence from the butterfly to the hamstring to the glute to the lunge to the elevated foot lunge to the frog stretch, that is pretty much all you need for your hips. That will take care of most things, of your legs really in general as well. Though that whole stretching sequence will take care of that. Next up, this is some movements that I like to do for the back, chest, and shoulders. And this is stuff that I do every single day. I do this every day, either in the morning or somewhere around lunchtime. I do it every single day, and that's what helps me stay healthy. Regardless, even if you didn't do jujitsu and you strength train, like there are people that sit down all day, you're gonna get tight, right? Like, so you definitely need to stay loose no matter what you're doing. So I'm gonna go onto my knees here. I'm gonna have my two hands out like so, and I'm putting pressure into the floor with my hands in this like palm grip. I come here, and I'm basically just gonna sit my hips back, look up as I extend. And what I can do is I can kind of come side to side. I can hold it and get a nice stretch in my lats here. I'm bringing my hips back. What I can also do here, just before you, here's a little sequence, right? So I do this stretch here with two hands. Then I prop up on one elbow and I lift my hand up. So you can see here, I'm opening up my chest and I'm looking towards my hand. And then I'm going to take that same hand and I'm going to bring it over. So now I have one arm over across my body. If you see from a more vertical, I come across and now I sit back. I'm going to get a real deep stretch in my lat here. And then I can switch sides, prop up on my elbow, lift up with my chest, looking at my hand, open. Then I take my hand, bring it across my torso. I bring it across, sit my hip back. I'm gonna get a nice lat stretch there. So you can kind of like go through this a little bit. You can stretch, open, stretch, open, stretch. Try some of those out. Yeah, you're gonna do that prayer stretch, sitting your weight back, so you're stretching that spine. It's almost like I'm elongating you. I'm pulling your hips back towards the wall, and your fingers are being stretched towards the opposite wall. So you should feel your lats, your back, your shoulders stretching out a little bit. You feel that?
Yeah.
Good. Breathe into that. Now you're prop up on the elbow, right elbow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good. Open up your chest, open up that thoracic spine. Now you can thread that left hand over the right hand. Yeah, and now a little bit less than that. Actually, that's fine. You can play around with your body for a bit. Yeah, you should feel a nice deep left lat stretch there. You feel that?
Yeah.
Good. Now I'll try the other side. I think you froze up. There you go. Yeah, good. Yep. Cool. Let me stop that record.